Hello and welcome. I'm JJ Gordonley. I'm going to talk you through a chair yoga class today. It's an overall body stretch. So I've got my chair. I do have two yoga blocks, one on either side of my chair, which you don't need, but if you happen to have yoga blocks, go ahead and get those out. And then something that your feet can slide on, whatever your floor surface is. So I'm on carpet. These are furniture sliders, which work great. In lieu of furniture sliders, you can use paper plates. Or if you're on hardwood floor, then you can use a towel or a blanket on the floor. All right, so let's get started. So actually, we'll just have our feet on the floor to start. So let your feet be grounded into the floor, legs approximately parallel, so that is not crossed at the ankles or anything. And just sitting tall, feeling the feet into the floor. Tune into your breath. And so noting where in your body is breathing and moving you. So is it more in the belly? Is it more in the chest, the upper chest, the lower ribs? Where? Is it more on the left side, more on the right side, more in the back? Anything at all that you can note. There are besides your diaphragm, your abdominals and the muscles between the ribs help and interact with the movement to create your breath pattern. So in yoga, we're looking at all the muscles that in the body that are tight or flexible and bringing balance to them. So that is the muscles that are tighter, we want to bring more flexibility. Muscles that are already quite flexible, we want to actually bring some strength or some tightness to. And your breath has created a looseness or tightness in these muscles that assist in breathing, besides the diaphragm and the diaphragm as well. And as you pay attention to that, you can discover, and you start to change your breath, you'll discover which muscles need to be a little more flexible or have a little more strength. So if you're a belly breather, for example, your abdominals are probably loose and they could maybe have a little more strength. And if the chest wall isn't moving much when you breathe, the chest muscles could be tight and they could be a little stronger. And the diaphragm itself has lots of fibers and goes out in all directions. Maybe it's only going out in one direction. And so the other sides need more flexibility. So if you change your breath pattern, that is what's moving with your breath, you can bring more balance to muscles that are tight and or more flexible. All right, let's start with some movement. So this is movement coordinated with the breath. That is some movement on the inhale and another movement on the exhale. First get the movement coordinated and then add the breath as the movement becomes more familiar or easier. And until that happens, until the ability to coordinate movement and breath happens, just use my breath cues as a reminder not to hold the breath. All right. So let's start with cat-cow movement. So on the exhale, a rounded spine, moving your spine toward the chair back. And on the inhale, a little back bend. Exhale, round the spine just a little. Inhale, a baby back bend. Start with smaller movements, and as we go through more repetitions, you can increase the range of motion if all is comfortable. All right, let's add a little arm movement, range of motion that's comfortable for you. You can take the arms in different patterns so they can come in front, go more towards straight, and come out to the sides, and not go all the way. You can stay bent, anything that's comfortable for you. All right, let's come to neutral. And we'll work through the 6 directions of the spine. That cat-cow movement is 2 directions, a forward bend and a back bend. The next 2 movements are lateral and a twist. And we're going to start with the baby movement, or a little bit easier movement. We'll drop one hand down to the side and let your eyes look down at the fingertips. And you can see you're in a bit of a lateral. Feel that. Exhale here. And on the inhale, raise the arm out to the side. Exhale, cross, fingertips to the opposite shoulder. Go right back out on the inhale. And down on the exhale. And then we'll do the same thing over on the other side. Drop the arm down a little bit lower than just, just at the side. So you get a little bit of a lateral. Exhale here, eyes looking at the fingertips. Inhale, arm comes up and out to the side. Exhale, cross to the opposite shoulder. Now you can see you're in a little bit of a twist. Inhale back out. And exhale down. And we'll repeat that again on each side. Exhale. Inhale up. Exhale, cross. Inhale back out. And exhale down. Second side. Inhale up. Exhale, cross. Inhale back out. And exhale down. All right. And so that's a fairly gentle lateral combined with the twist. Now we'll do those 2 movements separately a little bit deeper. So let's start with the hands on the hips and we'll do the laterals first. On the inhale, lengthen the spine, and on the exhale, twist over or lean over to one side, not twisting. And you can look down, exhale, and begin to looking toward the front or even up toward the ceiling, and then back to the front and inhale back up. And second side, exhale over. You can look down toward the front and or up if comfortable for your neck. Only doing range of motion for your neck that's comfortable for you, or for any joints, only doing what's comfortable for you. Let's take a cat-cow movement here and just squaring it up. It's a counter pose after the lateral. And it kind of helps make sure everything's kosher, make sure everything feels fine. All right, we'll repeat the laterals, and here's where your blocks will come in. And so we're going to stay in the lateral for a couple of breaths, and so it's and you can go deeper using the blocks. If you don't want to go deeper or you don't have blocks, just keep your hands on your hips and repeat what we just did. So inhale, lengthen, exhale over. So either you're staying right here or you can take that bottom hand to the chair seat, the chair leg, you might have a rung there, or to your yoga block. And keep that back leg, sit bone pressing down. It likes to kind of lift up, so your job is to keep it pulling down. That'll deepen the stretch, and stretches through the side waist here. Bring the bottom tips of the shoulder blades in toward each other. Keep the collarbones broad away from each other. And then come on back up. It's a little bit deeper lateral for you. And then we'll do the same thing on the other side. Exhale, lean over. Either staying right here or finding another place to rest that bottom hand and arm. Back leg, sit bone pressing down. Nice stretch through the side waist. Bottom tips of the shoulder blades squeezing in toward each other. Collarbones are broad. You can play with the head movement if you like. And then on an inhale, come on back up. And we'll repeat that cat-cow movement. Exhale, a rounded spine. Inhale, a little back bend. And repeat. All right, and then next we'll take a twist. So we're going to turn our body at a little bit of an angle. So I'm kind of more toward the corner of the chair. And on the inhale, raise the arms. Exhale, cross opposite arm to the leg. And the back hand can be on the chair seat or chair back, anywhere comfortable. We'll stay here for a breath. And then on the inhale, come back to face your knees, arms up, and go right back, same side, into the twist. We'll stay here again. Feel the tailbone and pubic bone pulling down, both sit bones down evenly. And the shoulder blade, bottom tips of the shoulder blades in toward each other again. And see that the chin is not tucked or down, nor lifted up, but the jawline, the bottom of the jaw is roughly parallel to the floor. And on an inhale, come back to face forward. And one more time into the twist, exhale over. And that arm to the opposite leg might even want to come deeper by reaching around toward the chair seat or the chair back, only if comfortable for you. Take a breath here. And wait for an inhale. On an inhale, unwind to face forward. And exhale, we'll take a cat-cow right here. Exhale, that rounded spine. Inhale, low back bend. And one more. All right, and then walk it over to the other side. So again, pointing off at an angle, not all the way to the side, not all the way facing forward, but somewhere in between. Inhale, arms up. And exhale, hand to the opposite leg, and you're twisting towards your chair back. Your back hand can be on the chair, at your hip, on the chair, or the chair back, anywhere comfortable for you. And then unwind back to face the knees, inhaling. Exhale, right back into it. Each subsequent time you come into it, you may be able to get a little deeper, or you might realize you went too deep prior and you need to back off. So always sensing, gauging, adjusting as you need. Tailbone and pubic bone pull down. Let's inhale back to center. And last time into the twist, as deep as comfortable for you. Sit bones, tailbone and pubic bone, all four of those bones, left and right sit bones, your pubic bone and tailbone all pulled downward. Keep the top of your head facing up, so your chin's not dropped or lifted. Head's in neutral. And nice deep breath. Shoulder blade, bottom tips of the shoulder blades in toward each other. The top of the shoulder blades out away from each other, and the collarbones out away. And then inhale to face the knees, and exhale. Let's take a cat-cow here. Inhale, low back bend. Exhale, rounded spine. All right, and then facing forward. So those are the 6 directions of the spine. And those moving the spine left and right twist is 2 directions, left and right laterals 2 more directions, and the forward bend, back bend of the cat-cow movement are the 6. So it's really 3 sets of 2, or 2 sets of 3. That is so beneficial for your spine to do on a daily basis. All right, we're going to come down to the feet now. No sliders or accoutrements to begin with. We're going to kind of point and flex here. So raising the heels, and then the heels down, raise the toes. So kind of pointing and flexing. All right. And then next time you raise the heels, keep them up. You can walk the feet back a little bit and rock your heels in and out, so stretching across to the pinky toe and into the big toe. All right, and walk your feet forward and flex the feet and roll the legs out and in, like Charlie Chaplin legs, and or some people call it duck feet. And then walk back in, and now bring in your paper plates or your blanket and bring your feet up on your sliders. So I'm going to do both legs simultaneously. If your chair is tippy, you might want to just do one side at a time. We'll do 6 all together. So if you're doing one at a time, do 3 on one side and then 3 on the other. So when you take the feet out, you can some of the time flex the feet and some of the time point the feet. And you can feel what your body prefers. I like to do the flexing more. I need that stretch in the back of my calf more. So that was 3. So if you're doing one leg at a time, you're going to switch it over to the other side now and do 3 more. So I do 2 flexes to 1 point. So I'll do a flex, then a point, then a flex. So that was a little bit more flexing on my feet. All right, and now we'll just do one leg at a time, and as though there are spokes, like a wagon wheel or something, or a bicycle. We're going to take one leg and some of the time point, some of the time flex, as we take the leg out on different spokes. And the breath work here is inhale when the leg goes out, exhale when the leg comes back in. And you can, it's harder to take it like all the way straight out, and it sometimes depends on the chair, but also depends on your own hip rotators in there. And then pick one of those spokes in the mid-range to hold, and we'll point and flex a couple times, and then ankle circles a couple of times in one direction and then reverse it. And then work your way back up to the front, back up to the top there. Inhaling out, exhaling in. And when you get all the way back up to the top, go in and out a couple of times there before you switch it to the other side. All right, we'll do the same thing on the other foot, other leg. Inhaling out, exhaling in, and heading out on the spokes. Pick a mid-range spoke to do our ankle work here, points and flex. A couple of those, followed by some ankle rolls. A couple of those in each direction. And then work your way back up to the top. Exhale when you bend. When you get back up to the front, do a couple there just to square it up. And if comfortable, to do both legs simultaneously, a couple there, just squaring it up. And if you're doing one at a time, just do 2 on one, 2 on the other, straight out. All right. And then just pause for a moment, take a rest, check in, kind of scan the body, just noting what already feels worked. All right, we're going to get into the hips a little bit more. And so scooting forward toward the front end of your chair seat. You can keep your foot on the slider, and we're going to take the one leg only, working one leg, the knees facing forward, and then we're going to drop it to the inside and down and slide the heel back and come back up to face forward. So just working those hip rotators, just really kind of whirling the thigh bone around in the hip socket. The range of motion that's comfortable for you. You're just trying to get into those hip rotators as your hip allows today. All right. So this internal rotation is what we're going for, and then you can add this leg stretch back towards sort of like a lunge if you like. I like to get that added stretch. All right, let's do the same thing over on the other side. So the legs facing forward, and then you're going to drop that knee to the inside, internally rotating, and then you can stretch it back if comfortable. And so the first time or two, the leg may not go back much at all. I've already warmed up my body, so my body easily can take that back. But yours may not want to go back at all or barely back. And as you do more, it might get a little further back and a little further back, but maybe not. Maybe not today, maybe next week. All right, let's come back to facing front. We're going to take the leg in external rotation, dropping the leg out to the side and back to face forward. Knee out on the inhale, close it up on the exhale. One more. And then switch it over to the other side. And you don't really need the sliders under your feet for this. Squeaky chair. All right. All right, we're going to come into the legs a little bit more, off on that angle again. You will need a slider under the leg that's more toward the screen, more toward the front. And so that leg, we're going to take the spokes on this back half of the wagon wheel and turn your foot and your toes and your ankle any way that you like, that gets into stretches that feel comfortable for you. And we're especially going to work toward this lunge type position. So that internal rotation, bringing the leg toward the other knee, and then start to work that leg back. And you'll get into the hip flexors here and internal rotation. And then pick one of these spokes to hold, and you can work the heel up and down. Toes can turn different directions, kind of like you're doing ankle rolls and rotations here, pointing and flexing, but only as comfortable for your knees and hips. And then release, and we're going to walk it around. You need your sliders. Walk it around to the other side. Again, off at an angle. And working that one leg only, spokes on the back side of the wagon wheel. Turning your foot in different directions to kind of get into stretching into the ankle and into the hip without bothering the knee is the key. Then that internal rotation and stretching back toward like a lunge. And playing with the heel up and down, toes tucked under, toes stretching back. Any variations there that feel comfortable for you to play with. All right, we'll pick one position and hold. Just keep breathing. And then release on the exhale and come back to face forward. And both feet on sliders of some sort. And out on the inhale, in on the exhale. And you can flex the feet some of the time. Point if you like. All right. All right, we'll take a sun salute in a chair next. You won't need your sliders for this. Before we do that, let's review lunge variations. So the simplest lunge is just to raise the heel. If you'd like to go deeper, clasp your hands behind that leg, lean back, bringing that foot up off the floor. There's a variation there. You can bend the elbows and squeeze that thigh in towards you for another variation, and or you can raise the foot to deepen the stretch. And so that's a lunge, bringing the leg up to you. The other one is the torso is down. You start here and you come up, bringing the leg up with you. And again, you can just bring the heel up, or you can go further and come up into the lunge more. All right, so let's do some forward folds first. On the inhale, raise the arms, and on the exhale, land the elbows or forearms on your thighs for a forward fold. Inhale, back up. Again, exhale, hands, forearms to the thighs. Let me just show this from the side. Inhale the arms up. Exhale. You don't need to turn sideways. I'm just showing it from the side. And you could go deeper if your forward fold allows. You could inhale, arms up, and exhale, come down so your hands start to travel down the legs toward the feet or toward the floor and back up on the inhale. So any forward fold that's comfortable for you. And it could just be cat, or you could come further forward into the forward fold. Any forward fold that works for you. Okay. All right, so that's another element of the sun salute that we need to piece this all together. Actually, let's do another element is downward dog. So let's take the legs out, both legs out, and hands to the back of the chair here, and you can press your hands into the chair for a little arm strength work there, as though to lift your body up out of the chair. Or another variation is to stretch the arms up. So the arms and the legs both stretch simultaneously. And only do that one if your chair is stable. You can do this one leg at a time if your chair is not stable and you feel like you're going to tip forward. Do one leg at a time, either variation. And then the next time we do down dog, just remember to switch legs. All right, and then let's take a back bend. The hands back behind you and squeeze those shoulder blades together. You can take the head up if comfortable for you in your neck, and then release. All right, I think that's all the elements we need to put a sun salute together. So let's do that. Exhale, here's our start position. Exhale. Inhale, the arms come up any way you like. Exhale, take your forward fold, any one you like. And a lunge. Again, any variation you like. Downward dog. Any variation of the arms. And a back bend. And then we'll go backwards through those poses. So back to downward dog. You might choose the other variation. And a lunge. Forward fold. All the way up, arms up. And back to start. And we'll repeat. Inhale, arms up. Over you go, forward fold. Lunge. Downward dog. A back bend. And repeat downward dog. Maybe a different variation of the arms. And a lunge. Forward fold over the legs. Exhale. All the way up, arms up. And back to start. And let's just take a cat-cow here. This is our counter pose. And then we'll bring our sliders back in and slide the legs out and in a few times. Legs out on the inhale. Exhale, bend. And repeat. Oops, I lost my slider. Exhale in. All right, and then relax. We'll take a cat-cow and we're going to add heel raises in this. So let's just get the cat-cow going first. So remember, the rounded spine is your exhale, and the inhale is the back bend. And then next time you exhale, raise the heels. Inhale, heels down, lift the toes, back bend. Kind of coming toward fetal position as your exhale. Then the back bend, stretch those toes. And anytime I'm giving you too many balls to juggle, just let go so you can let go of the feet pointing and flexing, or whatever you call that. All right, and let's come to neutral. All right, we're going to do palming next. So that cat-cow movement of the spine, but less back bending movement and more just the rounded spine, and then to neutral as we, let me show this from the side. You can stay facing forward. And so rounded spine, cup the palms over the eyes. That's your exhale. Release the palms down on the inhale, and you just come spine to neutral. And repeat. Exhale, cupping, palming. Inhale, release, neutral. And if this feels comfortable and you would like to stay in the palming, feel free. Stay maybe just a breath or two. Just block out as much light as you can. When you block out light, that really lets the eye muscles relax. And then keep the eyelids closed as you slide your hands down so the fingers spread wide. The light comes through the eyelids first, very gently, gentle to the nervous system. And let's just stay right there. And I'll talk you through a little guided relaxation from here. So feel free to lean back into the chair back, scooch back if you need to. Feet grounded on the floor, so if you're still on paper plates or sliders, you can let go of those. And let's just be mindful of the area from the shoulders to the top of the head. And so from the shoulder, just feel like your shoulders release. No need to carry the weight of the world. Just let go. And it's not that you're pushing your shoulders down or forcing in any way, but it's a letting go, a surrender. Just soften. And then from the shoulders up the back of the neck to the base of the skull, soften and release the back of the neck. Sides of the neck from the hinge of the jaw and the ear, down the sides of the neck into the shoulders. And from the tip of the chin down the front of the neck to the collarbone area. Soften and release. So the neck muscles all soft and released. Now come to the head, and from the occiput, that is the base of the skull in the back, to the scalp, soften and release. And the facial muscles, cheeks and jaw, soften and release. Relax the tongue. Just feel like the whole head and neck area is soft and released. And next we'll come to the area from the shoulders to the hips, includes the arms and hands. So we've worked that region quite a lot. So just begin to soften the muscles that have worked so hard. Let them kind of feel that pulsation, that extra blood pumping through them from the work we did. But now let that release and allow them to soften. You might notice a shift in the breath as you soften. And don't forget down the arms and hands as part of that. And then from the hips all the way down into the feet, soften the legs from the hips to the knees. Soften the legs from the knees to the ankles and the feet. And just feel the feet grounded. If you've crossed your ankles, uncross and really press the feet, the toes into the earth. Feel each toe across the ball of the foot, the side of the foot that makes the footprint, and the heel. Include the inner heel. And both ankles, soften around the ankles. And soften around the knees. And the hips. And so many people, when I'm saying one area like the knees or joints, then there's two of them, one on each side. Our mind often goes to one side only. So maybe yours did that. So take some time now to spend on the other side. Feel that foot, that ankle, knee, and hip. And as they both start to feel more and more even, on an exhale, give just the gentlest of presses into the floor. The heel, inner heels especially, toes. And then just pause. Not the breath, just pause in your mind, pause from doing. So I think caregivers have a hard time pausing from the doing because you're doing, going all day. So it's going to be foreign to take a pause from doing. And so it's going to, since it's foreign, you need to practice it. It's like another language. And then slowly bring a little movement. Maybe a cat-cow. You can slowly open your eyes. And so caregivers, I thank you for the work you're doing for your loved ones. Namaste. Thank you for coming today.